May we all stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Nikki Bender.
Here.
Joy Sellers. Here. Kathleen Almsey.
Here.
Melinda Cook. Here. Patrick Sellers.
Here. We are all present. We have a quorum. So the first order of business is approval of minutes. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Bender
Altonson.
and Almsey.
Please take a look at the minutes. How you doing, Attorney Phillips?
Fine, sir, and yourself?
I'm doing good.
Remember your pen today?
Yes, I remember my pen today. See that? Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
That's what you need to be down time.
Is there any questions on the minutes? No? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All righty, motion carries. Next order of business is the presentation of the audit from Benning Group.
Oh, we're not doing the bill?
No,
That's the next one
that's
on the
next.
agenda.
That's next on the agenda. So,
Anywhere particular you want me to stand or?
In front of the camera.
yeah, come up a little bit.
There used to be an X on the floor, it's not there anymore.
I know, I need to put one there.
My name's Kyle, I'm a CPA with Benning Group. I've been
Wait a
with you
minute.
guys for a handful of years now. It's our fourth or fifth year, I want to say, Patrick?
Yes.
Sound right?
Hand this out.
All right, and I've got the audit report. Do you guys have copies
Yep,
of the
I'm
audit
sending
report?
it around right
There we
now.
go. All right.
I have one thing. Yes, okay, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
So as you're passing those around, kind of flip to the first page there with our letterhead on it. There's a separate letter that's kind of loose in the front. Set that to the side for now. Flip to the second page of the report. We'll have our letterhead on it as well. Yeah, there you go, in the bottom of the report. So that there is our auditor's opinion. That's what you pay us for. That's the most important piece of the whole thing. And what that says is that in our opinion, the financial statements are fairly stated. So unmodified opinion, everything's good as it's been as a whole.
You said what, I'm trying to take minutes. You said what you stated? What is the first thing you said when, about this?
Our opinion is unmodified.
Okay.
It's a
that's
clean
what
opinion.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
So then pages 4 and 5 of the report. That is what we refer to as government-wide GASB 34. That's the required kind of consolidated statements that you have to present. If you look at the top, it shows total cash, $1,679,000. Any of the stuff I'll talk about, I'll get into the pages 6 and 7, as those are the funds as you are more accustomed to seeing. So on page 6, it shows that is the balance sheet. So it shows cash and so forth there. One thing that I will point out, pooled cash, that top line is the checking account that has all the various funds have a component to it. Since there are funds that have actually a deficit in that particular cash account, it shows as due from other funds, the third line down in general assistance, and then that same number shows on this will be like the 6th or 7th line down there due to other funds. So that's something I'm going to talk with Liz and work with her to get that kind of cleaned up this year. Plenty of cash in the savings account, but it's just a matter of how it has to be reported. If that's the way it's shown, it's just a little unique from that end. That probably not what you're used to seeing. On page 7, so the third line from the bottom shows how the funds operated income expense wise. So that net change in fund balance, that is the net income, net loss for the ERCC general fund ran about a $26,000 deficit. General assistance was $248,000 in the positive, and then the other funds combined is that third column at $68,000. So in total, $290,000 in the positive for the year. The next several pages, starting on page 9, are our footnotes. All really standard wording that's really unchanged from years past. The first one I'll make mention of is on page 16, deposits and investments. A few years back, we had issue with some uncollateralized deposits, and I believe Joy is looking at that monthly to make sure the securities cover the excess deposits at the bank, so no issues at all there. Page 17, next one, footnote 4, that details out some what we refer to as restricted net position. So some of the equity that's out there is restricted for specific purposes based on the levies that generate those funds. So you can kind of see what those funds are and what their restricted purpose is. Any questions so far? Okay. So flipping over, page 18 starts a bunch of information on IMRF pension liability. I'll touch on a table in the back that's a little more user-friendly than all that information contained in there. All required information for us to put in there, but not the most user-friendly. Page 24 at the bottom shows the current lease commitment that's out there and the payments, total payments for the year for the next 2 fiscal years left on that office space lease. Page 25, note 11 shows interfund transfers, 2 transfers that were made during the year to facilitate operations. Page 27 starts a budget to actual comparison in the general fund. So it gives you a line by line how things played out in comparison to the budget. If you look about 2/3 of the way down page 29, that's the total expenditures line. Typically that's what is of most value there. So total budget expenditures in the general fund, $635,000. Actual expenditures, $516,000, so $118,000 under budget on the expenditure side of the general fund. The next 2 pages are the same exercise with general assistance. Page 31, about the same place, shows total welfare expenditures. This is page 31 again. So $284,000 budgeted, $119,000 actual, so less than half of budgeted expenditures in general assistance. Page 32 talks a little about the budget. It says that all funds operated within the legal confines of its budget for the year. The next page, page 33, is a table on IMRF net pension liability. So this is the reporting that we put in a few years back that shows that if IMRF were to cease, then this is what the responsibility would be of the township. So if you look about, again, 3/4 of the way down, net pension liability, that's essentially, in short, what the township would be on hook for. 2017 was $5,200, took a big jump, almost $500,000 now. If you look up 5 or 6 lines at net investment income, you'll see quite a change there, and I don't think that's probably a surprise to anybody, just the way things have moved between the last few years. So that's the big difference there. The last few pages, after that, there's a little more pension information, in case you didn't get enough before. And then page 37 is a combining statement for some of what we consider the non-major funds, IMRF, FICA, audit, insurance, so it groups all those together starting on page 37. And then 39 and 40, the last 2 pages, show the general and capital projects fund. The last 2 pages of the report there that we group together for reporting purposes. So that's the quick and dirty on the financial statements. Any questions on any of that for me?
I have a couple questions. I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Tyler, on page 17, you list the capital assets on the category 3.
Page 17. Yep.
Is that in compliance with GASB 54? I know GASB 54 went into effect several years ago that required larger units of government, especially like municipalities, to list all the value of their roads and the sewers and et cetera like that. We don't have a road district, and we don't really have any physical real properties, but does that comply with the requirements of GASB 54?
GASB 54 is the equity provision. GASB 54 lists out restricted, committed, assigned, unassigned. It details those layers of fund balance commitment. The the reason that assets are reported was GASB 34, and that's the government-wide pages, the first couple pages, I think page 4 and 5, that is why the assets are reflected there. In your normal operations, so when I talked about the consolidated statements at the front, that reflects assets where normally you're not capitalizing those, you're just expensing them as they come through. But here, for GASB 34 purposes, we have to show those assets here. So that's why that presentation is included there.
The second question is, in 39 years of doing this, every time I see an annual audit, with the exception of probably Lake County, Illinois, when I worked for them, they always had a note in there about you don't have adequate staffing, you don't have to segregate duties. I
Yep.
didn't, as a quick look through, I
So
didn't see that in
is
here.
in the separate letter, that would be the
Okay.
next thing that I'll get to here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, so that is more of an internal control related issue. So these are financial statements, disclosures related to the numbers itself. The other smaller letter that you have there, that is our required communication to you as the board. So it lists our responsibilities within an audit. If we encountered any significant difficulties, which we did not, everyone is always great to work with, Patrick and Liz.
Okay.
No, absolutely no issues there. Bottom of page 2, we do have to call out what we deem to be material journal entries that we posted. So there was 2 of them that we did this year. One was to correct an allocation of corporate replacement taxes. It was journal entries that we had gone through with Liz the year before, and in her doing it for the first time, they accidentally got doubled up, so we had to reverse one of those out. And then the second one was to get the $20,000 entry there at the bottom was to correct the transfers to capital and IMRF. Anytime you're moving money between the funds, it gets tricky with how the entries have to be done in the software. So we had to do a little cleanup there with Liz. But all in all, from where we were a few years ago, she posted 99% of the entries that we had requested and all done accurately. So those we had to just disclose in the notes here. It goes on then on page 4, like I said, to talk about internal control related matters. So anything that we notice, we don't give an opinion on internal control, but we do look to make sure there's no gaping holes, give recommendations, that kind of thing. So to Mike's point exactly, our comment at the bottom of page 4, same as what it's been, lack of segregation of duties, meaning Liz has too much capability in her role. To satisfy the auditing requirements, you'd have to hire 2 to 3 more people just to segregate duties well enough for industry standards. So we obviously recognize the controls that are in place. We think what you have in place is certainly adequate given the staff size that you have. So it's just a reporting matter that it's there once again. The one that we did add back in, the comment we did add back in on page 5 that we had a few years ago, we did not have last year, was the material journal entries, just for the items that I had noted before. So since we have those called out, we have to put in a similar notation here. So ideally, again, we go back to where we were a year ago and no significant journal entries, and Liz has got it all spot on. All in all, she does a great job. We have very minimal work to do from that end. So I know you guys, you don't need me to tell you that, but yeah, no, it's usually pretty clean from our end when we come in.
I have one other question. The $20,000 correction that you referred to.
Yep.
I think, and this is just for general information, when you noticed that, you wanted us to do a resolution approved by the board every time we transfer funds
Correct.
from one to another.
Yep.
So whenever we have an appropriation or until we say we're gonna transfer from Fund A to Fund B, you want that not only in the appropriation ordinance, but when we're ready to transfer, you want us to do a second resolution.
Correct, that's kind of what we
other
talked
person.
about last year with the difference
Okay.
between a line item appropriation transfer versus an actual cash transfer between governmental funds. Yep,
That's all I have.
exactly.
Any other questions, board members?
As always, Patrick and Liz have my contact information, so if you look at something later, you can always give me a phone call, shoot me an email, let me know.
All right,
Thanks again for having me.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be cool.
There's no voting on this, is it?
No,
Okay.
just informational only.
The next order of business is the approval of bills payable. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
please take a look at bills payable.
Now, these water and sewer, are they from clients, not from, we won't post on our bills the money that we've paid water and sewer from the program, or do we?
Yes.
Okay, is that what these are?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe the water and sewer leaves their water on this long.
Me either, I mean.
For a $400 bill, why are they leaving it on?
I can't believe it.
No,
Maybe they had a leak.
Right, you never know.
Entirely possible.
Yeah, yeah, or
It could be
toilet
not
running.
be your fault.
Yep, the toilet's running.
Could be the
Trust me, I
infrastructure.
had a
Right.
toilet running.
Maybe the landlord hasn't fixed.
Right.
Right. And that doesn't go under, do you have something in place for something like that? I just thought of that, Kathy.
Well,
If
the
it's a-
landlord owns the building, but the people probably have the utility in their name.
No, I know that, but I'm saying if it's like, it was said, if it's
Yeah.
a leak or something's going on that they don't fix, is it
That's the
something?
thing. If there's a leak, it has to be fixed before we pay the bill.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't have, what we don't want to have happen is we pay the bill and next month, you're in the same predicament
Right, because
again.
he
No,
hasn't, okay.
bring us in the information that it's been fixed,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll pay the bill.
Oh, okay.
So that comes with their information.
how are you gonna know if they have a leak in the house? They're not gonna tell you.
Oh, no, the water company.
Water company.
They
Hold on.
know right away.
And we
Yeah,
work closely with the water
but
department.
they can look on your bill and tell you you had
We
a,
look,
you have a
we
leak
work real
somewhere.
closely with them.
That is,
Not the bill I saw.
oh, well, bill, I know my bills,
How's
usually if
that
my
go?
toilet is
Yeah.
running or it's a leak,
Mhm.
the first thing they'll say is, you have a leak somewhere or
Mm-hmm.
was your toilet running? I
Get
know
a
I've had it
plumber in
twice
there
in my
and-
business and at home, huh?
Get a plumber in there.
Yeah.
And, or have your
Yeah.
husband check it out. I'll try not to laugh too hard.
Well, I'm sure these people are all very happy with the help they got, and
I bet they are.
So is this, all of these, I know some of our clients pay out of that. Is some of these theirs or no? All of these are from,
All of these
Program.
are from the program.
oh, okay. Okay.
All right? There any more questions on claims and demands? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aldensee,
Aye.
Bender,
I,
Cook,
Yes.
Sellers, Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, motion passed. The next order of business, I have some things to hand out. We got a request for us to look at this program that they're having for the summer, for the youth in the summer. It's this play that they want to put on for Oliver. And they would like us to look at it, and then I think Robert Winter will come at the next meeting to discuss this. They would like for us to give a grant or something to them. He'll come and discuss and answer our questions. So read through this, bring all your questions to the next meeting.
May I have some more, please? That's one of the lines.
yes,
Oh, okay.
No,
that was our grade school.
could you repeat that? I'm sorry, I'm a little slow today. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
I'm slow.
Okay,
Today,
I'm handing this information out because there was a request for us to give some money for this program.
okay.
Okay? Robert Winter will be coming to the next meeting to discuss what they would like, and to answer all questions. So I'm just giving the information to the board. Bring your questions to the next meeting for
Okay, that's the part I missed.
Okay.
That's the part I missed. Our water program
has become a vital program in this community, and it's helping a lot of people. I know we decided to do it as a pilot program, but I think the pilot part is over. It's time for us to do the program and to help people. We keep our same stipulations in place. We keep the same threshold the same. It's no longer when the 20,000 is done, we end the program. I don't think that's fair for us to do that. We've become very, very important. And keep in mind, people can only come once a year for this service. So I think that we need to consider having the program full-time. Give me your comments and your concerns for me, please.
I don't think it should be a full-time thing. I think we have to put a cap on it someplace.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna have the whole,
Every year we
you're gonna
don't
have the
pay.
whole, yeah.
Yeah, every
And we're
year we
gonna
don't
end
pay
up being the
somebody.
payers of all water bills.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we've discussed this and,
You
I mean,
know,
we must be getting close to the, are we getting close to the?
oh, yeah.
here we are. We are.
How many months has it been
Since we started,
started?
we started in, I think, February.
Oh, was it that late?
Yeah.
I thought it was later than, I thought it was like March or something.
We started in February.
Wow. Wouldn't it, then like a budget maybe, because we do have a general, as we just saw in our audit report, a general assistance budgetary excess every year. So we could have a standard amount, like, so if $20,000 got us almost 5 months, we could do 50,000 for the year, and that would maybe be enough.
Oh, that's a lot of money. We help
But if we
a
had
lot of
like
people.
200,000 extra every
Yes.
year,
Yeah, but to me, I think I have to agree with Nikki. I think that we can keep the program going. I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
that. I just think that we need to stay at the budget, or, and I could even go along, okay, we went up $5,000 more dollars, we went up 25 to 50, that's a lot. But, that's what we do. When we run out, we run out. When January come or whenever, when does the program start, yearly to yearly? When does it start, January to January? Okay, when January come again, hey, we're helping people again.
So,
I mean, that's just my point of view.
I think you're right. That's what other agencies do. When they run out of money, they run out of. And now here we have someone else asking for money. This is going to be another never-ending thing.
Right.
Because they think we've got a little bit of money. Well, we never know how many people we're going to have on the rolls.
One day.
Right. I mean, something terrible could happen, and we could have a lot of people on the rolls, and we're not going to have money for what we're really supposed to be doing.
And
So,
I don't mind helping people, and I
No, me
like
neither.
the fact that, you know, helping certain ones, but like Nikki said, and I've thought too, that once we start giving and other agencies start saying, oh, they give, you gonna have this on your
yeah,
door.
I mean, the water department's sending them here.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Right.
They can knock, but if they don't meet the criteria, we don't help.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, do we wanna, in all of our meetings, do we wanna keep discussing
And when-
how we gonna give people money?
And when someone comes back next year, they have their water turned off from this year, we can't help them because they're already turned off. They're not disconnected status anymore, they're already turned off. We have to think about this.
How
And
many
you might
people
con-
do you turn down as opposed to, how many people apply and that are turned down? Do you know what, about?
I think at the last, we had 42 people that, when I gave you guys the last count. Out of that 42, we've turned down almost at least the same amount of 42 people we've turned down who did not meet the requirements.
So you turned down all 42 people that
So
applied?
you
No,
had
no.
84 people
Yes,
that,
that's what applied, and
Okay,
we
all right,
we
that's what
probably,
I meant. 84
Yes.
applied and you turned down 42.
yes, about 42 people that we had to turn away because they've come with a bill that's too high, that's over our threshold, or they've come with a bill that's an old bill that they've been disconnected and they want to get turned back on in their name, it's already turned off. We don't do that. So if you have a job and you are working and you can maintained and you ran into an emergency situation, that's what this program is for. It's not for anybody to come in and everybody gets assistance. It's not what the program is about.
And during the summer months, the kids are home. There's
Sure,
probably
they don't
some
have their water
usage.
bills if they don't have to pay them.
But if
Toilets being
the
flushed.
bill gets above our threshold, we don't pay it.
Right.
If it's $1, if it's 50 cents above our thresholds, we don't pay it.
Some of these bills haven't been paid probably for months because there's several of them over $400. So that's several months that they haven't even tried to pay on them.
Well, now let me stop you. You have to have an emergency situation before we help you. It has to be an emergency. Either you've had to pay a medical bill and you just couldn't afford to pay your water bill at the time. Something has to be an emergency before we can help you. It's not just I just didn't pay my bill. That's not an emergency on our end. And we take it serious, guys. It's not just anybody comes in and get assistance. No, we've been good stewards of taxpayers' dollars since 2013. Why would we stop now?
So how much more money do you want?
I don't know. I'll go back and I'll talk to Liz, and I'll come back at the next meeting, and then we'll talk about it. Because it's going to be a board decision. Okay? Even though I could pull the trigger on my own, I'm not going to do that. I want us to make the decision together. It's always been us together, and it's going to always be that way. So I will come back with more information, and we can discuss more about it. Is that fair?
All right.
Okay. Let's see, now what else we talk about? That's it for me. The next order of business is the assessor's report.
I have nothing new to report, just working on 2019 work.
All right, excellent. Next order of business is trustees report. Trustees.
Don't have anything.
Okay, next order of business is public comments. Are there any public comments?
I got
Okay.
assistance for my water bill because my car broke down. Your program works, but you do have to follow the criteria, and it's not really super
I need to know
strict.
who she is.
But, you know, I followed it, I got help, I have water, I have a sick boyfriend, which we still don't know what's wrong with him, and you guys have been wonderful. I've never heard of a town that did all this. And we're living on my income, and it's on them. So, we'd be on the street, we have no place to go. So, I'm thankful, and I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
Jennifer was wonderful, so is Kat.
Thank
I
you.
don't know why, I want to call her Kathleen. I
Kat.
think that's her name.
Cat,
But
yeah.
they've been all wonderful. And we went to their programs that they asked us to. Matter of fact, they were very educational, gave us something to do, you know, so it was nice. But thank you.
Thank
We
you.
really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
And what is your name?
Jill Griffin.
Okay, thank you.
Jill Griffin,
Mm-hmm. Griffin.
and you live in Freeport, I assume, right?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Oh,
for
no
coming.
problem. I'm going back out in the heat, yeah.
Any other public comment? Okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Carroll?
okay, I'm Steve Carroll, as you all know. The Emergency Water Assistance Program, as you just heard, works. Please, let it work again. Keep it going. There's going to be more bad news for folks in that demographic, because I think the water bills will be going up via the new terribly explained garbage issues.
Yeah.
And you also are going to have increases in utility taxes, and the MFT from the city's going to be going up. So you're going to have more and more people coming in. And just help a little if you can, but keep it going. And it's, I don't know how to put it, but they have nowhere else to go. And the fact that the city lets these bills go, for whatever reason, maybe they figure, if you don't have water, you can't live there. You get turned out. And maybe they let them stay. They probably shouldn't, but I don't know what an alternative answer is. And it's also about fiscal priorities. You guys are really, really good. And Pat Sellers squeezes a penny till Abe Lincoln screams, so he's pretty good with that. So, more hard times are coming. But just prioritize what you have, and don't worry about somebody coming up here scamming Township, because first person we're going to meet is Sarah Elaine Shelton. Nothing gets past her. So, anyway, keep up the good work, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Any other business come before the town? I will entertain a motion to adjourn until July 15th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.